I'm not sure about this. This has disaster written all over it, and probably misspelled too. We're going to upgrade to Windows 11 live on today's show. Yes, live. So if you missed it live, you're going to get it on the recording. Just fast forward through all this stuff coming up. And yeah, we're going to get it live. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Ugh. There we go. Audio. Could be trouble. Could be trouble. Could be trouble. We're doing a live Windows 11 upgrade from Windows 10 today on my beautiful, lovely production PC. And we're going to do it in the worst way possible. We're just going to do it clicking the button in Windows and saying upgrade instead of basically going back to scratch, formatting the drive and building it all over again, which I may do after this anyway. We'll see. I've got everything backed up, so golly. I mean, you just never know with this stuff. You just never know. Excuse me. I'm hoping that this goes well. I really am. It'll be a more interesting show if it doesn't. So I'm a little nervous. Generally, I'm not nervous with this stuff, but I'm not really nervous. I'm not looking forward to this. Windows 11. First thing I'm going to do behind the scenes is dummy it so that it looks like Windows 10. And I got to learn where things are and make sure that, vMix is set up the right way. And Windows 11, what can I say? I guess it was inevitable, sooner or later. Later or sooner. What is it? October that Microsoft is going to drop free support for Windows 10. We were chatting about this last week, and somebody said that it was a lot less money than I thought. I thought it was like over $200, and they're saying it was like less than $100 to maintain free updates on Windows 10. Well, they're not free because you're paying for them, but to maintain updates on Windows 10 for a year. I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal. I would be tempted to do that, but sooner or later, may as well bite the bullet. The fact that vMix has had, a couple of years of experience with Windows 11 now, I'm talking about vMix Corporate, that they have found most of the issues and either fixed them on the vMix side or, I guess, speed dial Microsoft and said, here, fix this on your side. We'll see how that really happens. We'll see how that really happens, but geez. Not sure. Let's see, where is my little thingy here? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. This is my theme for the day right here. Warning, Will Robinson. Do you remember that show? Lost in Space? Yeah, it was a classic. It was a classic. Okay. I have got to do something here I've got two PCs running at the same time. This PC that you're looking at right now is the PC behind me right there. That's what you're seeing. That's the interface. And I've just got a monitor in front of me with a keyboard and a mouse. And then I've got another keyboard and mouse that is for my production PC, this one right here. Let's see, can I show it to you? Yes, it is right here. And that is, and it's got a Windows update to 10. So I'm going to have to restart this PC. May as well do it now and get it out of the way. I could do it as part of the show, but no sense in doing it as part of the show because it really doesn't have anything to do with upgrading to Windows. 11. So we'll come back to that screen in just a second after it gets through updating. Gee whiz. I think I'm nuts on at least 2 fingers. One finger that I'm doing this live. Finger number 2 is that I'm doing it at all. Oh God, I remember when Windows 8 came out, and I loved Windows 7. Everything was, where I expected it to be. I didn't need tiles. I didn't need any of that fancy stuff, and I just resisted Windows 8 like you wouldn't believe. And then, of course, 8.1 came out, and fortunately, Windows 10 came out within a reasonable period of time, so I just jumped 8 altogether and went from 7 to 10, and I was happy as a clam. Well, I wasn't happy, but Windows 10 was good enough, and good enough for vMix and good enough for the things that I wanted to do. So that was cool. But what is all this black stuff on the screen? Where is that coming from? Do I have something there? I have something there, don't I? Let's see if we can turn it off, whatever it is. It's a layer, and it is this? No, not that. Nope, not that. Nope, not that. That's part of it. Not that. Not that. Well, I guess it's just, yeah, I'm down in there somewhere. Got something there. Don't know what it is. My apologies. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's go back to this PC for a second. And we're going to start Windows Desktop Capture. Excuse me, vMix Desktop Capture. So that at least for a while we can get what we can from this PC through is that hooked? Is that connected? Let's see. Do we have a mouse there? Can we see? I think I need to refresh that. But excuse me just a second. Display 2. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if it's live. If I drag this, yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Happy now. Happy now. I mean, as happy as I can be under the circumstances. Technic says, after installing Windows 11, vMix is crashing. Thanks for encouraging me. Because we're going to be installing Windows 11 in 5 minutes. I am so sorry to hear that. Quick advice, if you haven't already fixed it, make sure you don't have any other Windows updates hiding, waiting to be updated. Sometimes you have to do an update, restart the PC, come back and check updates again, and whoa, there's some more updates. Take those, restart, come back and check again, and there could be more updates. We may go through that a couple times today. We'll just have to wait and see. I had one client called me and was just having all sorts of problems. I said, when was the last time you updated Windows? Oh, well, it does its own updates. Well, yes and no. And so we went through the process of checking updates, downloading updates, installing updates, restarting the PC, checking updates, and we did that 21 times. Holy cow, 21 times. It was not, I was not happy. They were not happy. But when it was done, everything worked perfectly. We didn't have to update vMix. We didn't have to do anything fancy. Windows just needed to be updated. That was the only issue. Windows needed to be updated. Nasty Windows. So we're going to dive into the deep end and do Windows 11. Where are we on time? 2 minutes and 2 3/4 minutes. Okay. All right, we're good here. I'm trying to, well, I'll show you what I'm doing, even though the show hasn't started. This is the cam that we're going to look at. That's my number 2 monitor on my system. And at some point, Windows, the PC is not going to operate under Windows, so we're gonna have to make sure we can see what's going on there. But otherwise, we'll be looking at this screen, which is a desktop capture from the PC using vMix desktop capture. And I've sharpened it so that it'll have as much visibility as possible. I guess I could change the screen resolution and maybe make that a little bit bigger. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Display settings, 1 and 2. Let's go to 2, and we're going to make it, how about 1024 by 768. Keep changes. Okay, well, that did kind of give us a little smash screen. Don't try that one. Let's go to something else. We'll go to 2. So we don't want that orientation. 1152 by 864. Well, let's do 720. That doesn't look bad. And it's a little easier to read. There we go. Now we're talking. So let's get that. Get this set back up again. Last Windows update 17 minutes ago. Web browser restore recommended. Well, we'll worry about that in a minute. And here we are on updates. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get as much information there as we possibly can. We just checked with an update, so we're not going to do that again. So we will go to that screen momentarily. Nervous? I'm nervous. Yes, I'm nervous. So Tim says, I've been holding off updating my church's vMix PC to Windows 11 out of extreme concern about if it will still work. Well, Tim, you've come to the right place. Tommy, I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, yes, Dr. Smith. He was a mean guy. Hello, Michael. Welcome. Glad you're here. Oh, Byron, if you only knew. If you only knew. Okay, let's get the show started, and we'll dive in. Hopefully, it'll be okay. It will 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 be okay. All right. So today, live on this channel, we're going to be installing Windows 11 on my lovely production PC. This is a PC with an Asus GeForce RTX 4070 Ti, which is a screamer, by the way. Holy cow, I'm so glad I got that. I actually bought it for a client, and then they wanted to go higher, so I kept it and said, well, instead of it gathering dust on the shelf, no. And then my my i9, I guess it's a 10900, so it's screaming fast PC. And yeah, and it's been running Windows 10 since it was built, 2-3 years ago. So now we are going to upgrade it to Windows 11. It's like going to the doctor to get stitches out or a splinter pulled or a bone set or something. You know it's good for you, but you just don't want to do it. So the way this is set up today, I've got two things going on that I'll show you. One is I've got this camera, which, let's get that graphic out of the way. There we go. Which is my my BirdDog P120. I use it here in the studio, and it's just looking at my screen. So if things go south, or if things just go normally and the PC is not available, we can look at this shot. But in the meantime, we're going to look at this shot, which is a screen capture. So you can see my mouse. No, you can't see my mouse. Yeah, you can. Yeah, there we go. So this is a screen capture of my second monitor on my PC. So that's what we'll be using for this deal. I have backed up this PC. Actually, I cloned the drive. So in the event this just goes completely south, I'll just use the clone drive and be back to Windows 10. But ultimately, I think the best thing to do, both for me and for you, is to format the drive, install Windows 11 from scratch, and then put everything back on it that you want on it. It takes more time, but I think you're going to get a better installation, a cleaner installation. That's what I understand to be true. So let's see if we have anybody in the chat. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Michael. Scott says it's end of an era. Michael has already done this. He said it was no problem, went smooth as could be. Scott is avoiding this. Michael was at his local supermarket, and the cashier system was running Windows XP. Actually, TriCaster ran Windows XP for the longest time. Yes. Byron says, Tom, are you going to cover the settings that take out the bloatware? Byron, I just want to get the Windows 11 installed. Let's see what happens. Let's take it one step at a time, okay? So before we do anything else, let's get this little screen right here, and I am going to put myself on it. Bear with me one second. I'll tell you what. Here it is, and I'm just going to put myself. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to put myself in here. Main shot, and let's edit it. Let's shrink it down. No, it doesn't like that, does it? It's just all black. Well, let's don't do main shot then. Let's do something else. Let's do that. There we go. That'll work. There we go. Okay. And I guess bottom right corner is okay for now. We'll just kind of see how it works. So what I want to do is, let me switch over to the other mouse, is we probably, I mean, I know this PC is okay, but let's check device specifications. And it opens up a window, and it just has a bunch of things. So don't care about that. So we're scratching that. See if it's ready to install. All right. Oh, we're checking for updates. So we're getting somewhere right off the bat. We may have just dove right into the deep end. All right, Windows 11 version 24 H2 is ready, and it's free. I like free. Get the latest version of Windows with a new look, new features. Why is new better? I don't get that. And enhanced security. I don't know that I like enhanced security either. I thought the old security was okay. I think I'm just going to stay on Windows 10 for now. No. All right, download and install. We'll click the button. Should we read this? You guys have already read this, I'm sure. So I'm just going to say accept and install. And now it's going to say downloading. 0. This may be a long show. This may be a long show. Or I may not be the only one downloading it. You guys are probably all downloading it at the same time. Holy cow. All right, well, let's see. Let's get the right cursor here. And we'll pop back over here and see. So Byron says, Tom, are you going to cover the settings that take out the bloatware? Possibly. Oh, we're up to 2%. Ooh, this is screaming along. Hello, Bill. Welcome. Glad you're here. Good day from the Mississippi coast. Yep. Michael Graves says, now we need a drinking game. Well, here is my Mountain Dew Voltage. The first two I picked up, one was diet, and the next one was zero sugar. And I'm thinking, that's not anything that I'm interested in, not those. Okay, so we're up to 3%. 4%. Whoo, screaming right along. So if anybody has done this, I am curious to know, how did it go? Did you do it this way? Did you download it right from Windows Update? Or did you format your drive and install Windows 11 from new? And the question I have, if you formatted your drive and installed Windows 11 from new, were you able to use your old Windows 10 license key? Or did you have to get a Windows 11 key? For the last year or so, when we've been building PCs here, most of the folks that we built PCs for wanted Windows 10. And, I would buy a Windows 10 license and install it, then buy another Windows 10 license, or buy them a dozen at a time, whatever it was. And then I couldn't get them anymore. I was like, what am I going to do? And I experimented with a Windows 11 license, but installing Windows 10, and it worked just fine. Okay. Byron says yes. I'm not sure what that yes was. Did that mean that you formatted your drive and installed Windows 11 fresh? Michael says he upgraded his Lenovo laptop from the upgrade tool. Not what we're doing, the upgrade tool. You can go to Windows, just Google Windows 11 upgrade tool. And, so that, Michael, so what you're saying, that was instead of formatting the drive. Okay, we have to worry a little bit about drivers. Byron says download, then loaded. Okay. And Michael Quist says, remember, I upgraded Windows 11 Home to upgrade to a Windows 11 Pro before installing vMix. Okay, I got that. Byron says, then formatted, no need for new license. Good to know, good to know. Scott said, it went fine when I upgraded 11 and my living room Nook took about an hour. Well, this may take longer because we're only up to 8% downloading. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. We're just rocking on along. This is so exciting. Michael Gray said, made a backup image so I could revert if necessary. Well, what I did here today in the show before the pre-show, I went ahead and cloned this drive so that if this drive gets so screwed up, I'll just, wipe it out, and I've got my clone drive to go back to that has everything on it. I'm a little concerned about drivers, although, I guess the only drivers that are specific would be the NVIDIA driver for the graphics card, and I think that's already a 10/11 when you download it anyway. Scott says, if you're upgrading your main production computer, what are you producing with today? Well, I'm using the same PC. Not really. I've got one back here that I've been doing some testing. I built it from scratch, doing some testing with some different things on it just to see how they might work in the future. And so I threw vMix on there, and I did a vMix bundle, a preset bundle from my production PC, and dumped it back here. And what else did I have to do? Oh, I had to move the camera's NDI, so it picked it up right out of the bundle, the preset bundle. And my microphone is that Hollyland Lark that plugs in USB-C. It's USB-C on the PC to USB-C on the receiver on the mic setup, and that worked easy peasy. I mean, I had to go in and establish a new connection because vMix didn't know which USB port to look at, because the motherboard that my production PC is based on is a Asus Prime A Z590, and the one that I've got back here is an Asus Prime P Z790. So it's a little different. Whoop, looks like the downloading is up to 36%. It's screaming right on through. Holy cow. The show's half over and we got a third of it downloaded. Maybe I should have started sooner. Oh my gosh. So Scott, what I've done is I'm using a desktop capture on my production PC to send all this stuff until such time as we can't send that, and then I've got a camera pointed at the screen that we can use to see the rest of it. So I think I've thought of everything. So I've got a PC behind me that will just be fine and keep streaming no matter what. But then this one that you see above me right here, we'll just have to take that one step at a time. Scott says, in terms of drivers, I tried to upgrade my Omen laptop with a 9th gen i7 and everything was fine except for the Ethernet drivers. Really? Huh. That's cray-cray. I would think that, yeah, I guess the drivers have to do with the CPU. That's for sure. Huh. So what did you end up doing? Goodness gracious. Oh, we're up to 50%. We're halfway done. $53. We're over the hump, as they say. I mean, is it going to be this simple? Is it going to be this simple? Are we just going to download it like it's any other update and activate it? Or is it install it, and then restart, and we're done? Could it be that simple? Those of you that done it, is it that simple? All right, Scott says his HP Omen laptop is on Windows 10 again because he couldn't get the drivers to work for Windows 11 for the Ethernet port. He says all three of his production PCs, 2 laptops, and the Omen are all on 10. Yes, I like that. The nice thing about that is, you don't have to make a change in your mind when you go from Windows 10 to Windows 11. If everything's the same, you're expecting it to be the same. And I would encourage you, for those of you that are using vMix, which I hope is everybody, and you have more than one PC, that all of your PCs have got the exact same number version of vMix on it too. And of course the same level, you know, if it's HD or 4K or whatever. I guess you've got the same license, so it's going to be what it's going to be. But, well, even if you have multiple licenses, it makes sense to have all your PCs at the same level, I think. That way you're not, you know, going into a PC that's set on HD and you think it's a Pro, and then, yeah, it didn't work right. All right. Scott says, yes, it's almost like any other update. You said almost. Almost. Almost is not the same. I almost survived the crash. Not the same. Michael Graves says, yes, yeah, basically very simple. Basically very simple. And he said only minor tweaks to make the UI look more like Windows 10. That's what I want to do. I want to make the adjustment as painless as possible, and we'll try those. Michael Quist says, I hate the new right-click menu in Windows Explorer, where cut, copy, paste, and delete are hidden. Really? Those were the things that you need to use the most. At least me. Excuse me just a second. We said Windows 11, so we're all going to take a drink. Okay. 75%. Nope, 77%. And this could be the easiest upgrade I've ever done. Nah, wouldn't happen that way. Wouldn't happen that way. The only two things running on the PC that we're upgrading are this screen, Windows Update, and vMix Desktop Capture for NDI 27.0.0.3. So we will have to see. It's already up to 1 frame per second. Woo! I didn't ask it to send multiple frames because I just needed this part. This part is on the PC back there, but all this is on the production PC. Backstory Podcast, welcome. Oh, he's given a note to Michael Quist that says there are internal tweaks to bring them back. Well, there you go. Byron said, I couldn't get the power button to move to the left. Well, that's the easiest part, Byron. You just take your mouse and you hover over the power button. You left and right click at the same time, and then you drag it to the left. Right? No. That's how rumors get started. We'll have to go in and set that up. We'll see. We're at 87%. This might just happen. We might just do this. It might work. Yeah, we'll see. I wonder when I download this and then install it, and then I guess we have to reboot, if I have to go back to Windows Update and get more updates, or if what we're getting right now is the updated version as of, 10 minutes ago kind of thing. We'll have to see. 90%. The tension is building. We start the countdown. 90, 90, 91, 91, 91. Never mind. Okay. So those of you that have already made the upgrade to Windows 11, have you had any issues with vMix? Or does vMix do just as well as before? Or, third possibility, or is vMix better in some ways with Windows 11? Does it run faster? I know some people have been complaining about how long it takes vMix to load a preset. And a lot of that depends on your PC and how it's configured. But I know my preset, I've got what do I have in this preset? I think I've got 89 different inputs. And sometimes that'll pop over 100, sometimes it'll be in the 70s. It just sort of depends on what what's going on with the show and what I need for that show. And then I've got a lot of stuff that I just kind of keep because I want it there in that preset so that I'll have it when I need it. Because I never know when I might need it. Oh, we're up to 94. But I'm wondering if vMix will load faster. Or is that a function of RAM? Or is that a function of the drive? Not sure. Oh, Scott's changing the subject. Off topic, but excited that his eBay Daktronics scoreboard is on the way. He's going to crack the RTD code to get the data out for a hardware solution. Yeah, baby. Go for it, Scott. If you have something that you think might help other folks and you want to make it available for a fee, let me know. You come on the show and talk about it. If not, the whole thing makes a great story anyway. 97%. Woohoo! We're going to get to 98%. It's going to say, sorry, your drive is full. I hope not. I think I've got a 5 gig. Yeah, I've got a 5 gig as my main drive there. 5 gig? No. 500 gig. I'm getting fuzzy in the head. Scott says that's the plan. All right. Ray B is here. Welcome. Been running Windows 11 for well over a year and no problems with vMix at all. Well, that's awesome. That is music to my ears. I am not a big change fan. I mean, if it's something new and different and fun that adds on to what I'm already doing, I don't mind new and different and fun. But I'm not a big fan of changing what already works. And Windows 11 is a change for me in what always worked because it doesn't look the same. It's like, here's what it's like. It's like growing up in a town and then leaving that town to go off to college or get married or travel the world or be in jail or whatever the case may be. And you come back 10 or 20 years later and the town is completely different. You know, the road is here that you used to go to the grocery store on, but now it's a 5-lane road. And yeah, it can be scary. Oh, 99%. And let's see, Michael says, haven't used my vMix many times, but it has worked like a charm in Windows 11 Pro. Okay, like that. I like that a lot. Downloading 99%. Okay, let's see that's that one. All right, how are we doing here? Here we're at 99%. It's like sometimes when you download something using Chrome or Edge, and it gets to 100%, but it's still not downloaded all the way, because if you look in your downloads folder, it still has the whatever that temporary file name is that it gives it. And then it might, like if you're downloading vMix, it'll do 100%. I look in the download folder and it says vMix, but the vMix is not using the icon with the vMix logo in it yet. All right, Michael says, Microsoft 99%, same as time it takes to upgrade. Yeah, really. Well, we'll see. We're still at 99%. We programmers call it, well, this is Michael Quist, if you're not in the chat. We programmers call it MS time countdowns. Yeah, I know. Oh, we're installing. Woohoo! 0%. Martin Sinclair is not a big fan of the way Microsoft Windows calculates CPU usage. If you've ever noticed and compared Task Manager to the CPU usage in vMix, sometimes it can be pretty significantly different. And Martin thinks that Microsoft kind of overcalculates sometimes, and he thinks that his version is a little better. Woo, we're up to 13%. 14%. Don't want to stay on 13 too long. That's not lucky. 17, 18. We're rocking on along here. Of course, we'll probably get stuck at, what is my favorite one? 74%. On some of this stuff I install. Probably you too. You know, it sticks at some numbers for a while. 74%. It's like updating the firmware on a PTZ Optics PTZ camera. Stops at 93% for like 5 minutes. And then it's finished. So here's to the guys that write the counter software. Okay, we're up 25%. This is good. We've got 2 minutes left in the show. The show's only supposed to be a half an hour. But we'll see what it takes here. So while we're on this page, I'm reading down here. It says, uninstalling problematic Windows updates easily. It's like, what? If it's a problematic update, don't give it to us. Sheesh. Installing Windows 11 on eligible devices, installing pending Windows updates easily. Well, you just do it. Troubleshooting Windows update problems. Occasionally, in fact, it happened to me today. I was doing an update back here, getting that system all ready to go, and the update said can't update. I was like, what do you mean you can't update? Then I realized I had vMix open. And I've got vMix set up to not allow an update if vMix is running. All right, Michael Quist says, one great new stuff on Windows 11, you don't have to Control-Alt-Delete to log in. I don't think I've ever Control-Alt-Deleted to log in. What are you doing? Scott says, if we could only get Martin to support Wine with Linux, we could ditch 11 altogether. I've had some success with it on Ubuntu using Wine, and then, sorry, Scott, the rest of your note got left out. Where do I change the number of characters on that? We're up to 31%, by the way. Let's see. Let's look at something here. Limit text to 140 characters. Is that it right there? Well, let's say 250 and see what happens. Refresh title. But some things didn't work. Well, that's the thing. You know, I know one of Martin's, and he and I have had this discussion, eyeball to eyeball, is that he doesn't want to have to support, which is why he doesn't do the Apple thing. He doesn't want to have to support more than one platform, just because the tech support on it would just drive him crazy. And I know in talking to some of the Wirecast folks, they, under the covers, they wouldn't say it out loud, but under the covers they said they don't like having to support both Mac OS and Windows. They'd rather just stay with Mac OS. So there you go. Michael Graves says, as a certified sommelier, is that how it's pronounced, Michael? I think that I use wine in a manner that's different from what you suggest. And Scott says, yes, very different wine. Hello, Jasper, welcome. Emulation is a pain, says Michael. We're up to 37%. Well, I guess we were up to 37% before. So Jasper, what we're doing is we are using Windows Update to update my production PC to Windows 11. And I'm using a secondary PC back here behind me to do the live stream. And what you see above me is a screen capture of my production PC, but me here is NDI going into that PC back there. But I threw that PC's back there. I threw that monitor also up in front of me so that I can look at it going either way. So far so good. So we're up to 40%. And this production PC is on a power backup, which filters the power and also provides, I think, like 6 minutes of backup. I don't think I have the lights running through it, but I do have the monitors and the router going through it. So there we go. Michael Q is asking, has anyone had success using vMix on Windows on Parallels on a Mac? Yeah, I think that would be like, you know, having a Porsche and taking out the Porsche engine and putting in a vMix, a VW engine, not the other way around. Scott says, no, but I did boot camp, rebooting into Windows 10. Well, there you go. And his 2012 Intel MacBook Pro is a great vMix rig. Really? Huh. Can y'all hear the sirens? One of the things I realized as I was starting the show earlier, that those are both VWs. Well, that's true. That is true. One of the things I thought about when I was starting the show that I didn't have on this PC is my Waves VST3 plugin license. So my Waves noise suppressor, Waves NS1, is not active, which means that if the AC were to run, you would hear it. Now the fan here for the PC, the power supply, the CPU cooler, and the GPU are very, very quiet. And the AC is not on, so we're not hearing any of that, but you might have heard some of the street noise. The NS1 has done a great job of taking that out over the years. Michael Q says, won't work on new Macs with MX silicone processors, and yeps, we heard the sirens. Yeah, we're on I would say a minor road. I mean, it's just 2-lane. Most everything around here is 2-lane. And there's a fire station to the south of me. And occasionally they'll zip through here heading north to go to a community in the north. All right, we're up to 62%. That's just like practically there. But we're also 5 minutes over on the showtime. Oh, well. Oh, well. So, let's see. While we're, let's go back to this shot for just a second. This is a shot here that we'll be showing in just a minute when that number right there gets up to 100%. Although, you and I both have had probably some times where you've installed an update and it says installing, gets all the way up to 100%, and then it goes back to 0% again. Let me see if I can add myself into this shot. Effects, no, I don't want effects. I want layers. I want number 2. I want to edit that one down. Let's zoom it down to here. Oh, that's a little too much. And we'll just drag it down here in the bottom. There we go. There we go. So I get to hang out with you no matter what's going on. We seem to be paused at 64%. 64%. 70%. Just as soon as I say it, it makes a liar out of me. That's okay. I'm good with that. Michael Graves said, a Mac would not have an NVIDIA GPU, so not really an optimal choice for vMix. Save Ray, indeed. Dave Edwards is here. Hello, Dave. Dave tested Windows 11 in-place upgrades on several non-compliant systems. Yeah, he was telling me about that. That's pretty cool. Byron says, Tom, did you say you were running vMix 27? Byron, you don't miss a trick, do you? I am running vMix 28, but I am using vMix Desktop Capture for NDI version 27.0.0.3. I don't know if there's a newer one, but this is the one that's on my old system. I mean, on my production system. So I'm using that to bring an input into my temporary system on this other shot right here. Let's see, where is it? Right there. Yeah. So that's the Desktop Capture version of it. All right, let's see. Michael Q says, I guess you could have NVIDIA graphics on a Thunderbolt box with PCI. See, that just ends up being a lot of trouble. Why not just get a Windows PC? Michael Graves said that would be bandwidth limited relative to normal. Yeah. Yeah, those are the things that you deal with. Dave said it took about 20 minutes per system. Interesting. Well, we are going, let's see, it is 2:28 p.m. here, and we started this update, I think, about 2:05. So we are 33 minutes into it and 72% installed. Now, up until, I mean, we don't know yet on the installation, but the download has taken the bulk of the time. The download has taken the bulk of the time. Michael Graves says that Thunderbolt doesn't deliver the full capability of 12x PCIe. I was looking at something the other day. I was looking at a PC system out of India, and the only reason it showed up is because I was looking for a new source for the lunchbox PC cases, you know, the kind that have the monitor built in and sometimes a keyboard. And so I found one in India, but it wasn't just a case, it was a whole system. And I thought, well, you know, I guess that's okay. You know, it was running Windows 10, and it showed a picture of the motherboard, and the motherboard was all PCIe lanes. Excuse me, all PCI slots, no PCIe. And I thought, oh my, that would not do. And if it had been the right price, I'd have bought it and stripped out the motherboard and thrown it away and put it in a different motherboard, but it wasn't priced like that. All right, Michael Q says, and you're right, Tom, that's why a Mac guy like myself have 4 laptops and two, I think he means two other PCs, all to handle vMix production easily. There you go. But it's a pain with all the updates and all the other problems to have stable systems compared to Macs. Yeah, it's kind of like having a racehorse, you know? It's not the kind of thing you just take out for a stroll on a Sunday afternoon. That's my analogy. The Mac PC is the strolling PC that you don't have to worry about it because it just always does the same thing. You know, you can put your ground children up on top of it. I want the racehorse. I want the racehorse. And we're at 76% on this racehorse. And not moving as quickly as I might like. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. 79%. We all just need to say, come on, baby. On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come on. Oh, excuse me. Start again. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on, baby. 79%. Was that what it was before? Probably. We'll see. I'm getting a little CPU fan action here. So something is going on. It's amazing to me. All this stuff amazes me. I was talking with somebody earlier today, and they said, how do you stay sharp? I was like, man, it's fun. It's like, I don't go to work. I go to the playground. Michael Q says, remember, it's Microsoft time. 99% can take some time going to 100. Well, 79 just went to 81. Now 82. So we're cruising. We'll be up to 99 in another 30 minutes. Maybe. I was talking to my brother the other night, and this is tangentially associated with what we're talking about. And apparently my dad had had either an uncle or a brother that he didn't know about. I think it's an uncle. And that uncle's, which would have been his father's brother, and I think that uncle migrated from Scotland to Australia and never went back to Scotland, and had at least 3 children, presumably all boys, in Scotland. And so I want to do some research and see if Martin Sinclair and I are closer cousins than I think. You never know. 94%. We're getting there. So all it was to do this was to click the update button. It used to be over here that said to update to Windows 11. So yeah, you just never know. You really never know what you're going to get. You really don't until you do it. That's the thing. Until you do it, you never know what you've gotten. And if you've just joined us, we are updating Windows 10 to Windows 11 Pro on my production PC, and we're doing it through the Windows Update process, which so far has been easy peasy. I clicked one button and I watched it download for, 25 minutes. Windows 11 version 24H2, and now we're up to 94% installing 24.24H2. No dot, sorry. But sometimes there'll be a second installation process that happens after the first one, I know, with some Windows updates. So we'll just have to see where we go here. And there's no other measurement that I can see of installation here. I guess we could check the drive size and see if our drive has gotten bigger. Actually, it's gotten smaller, it looks like. Oh no, it has gotten bigger. This is the drive that I cloned earlier. So it had it has 93 gigabytes free. And this is the drive that we're on right now, updating, has 165 gigabytes free. So that's about 27 gigabytes that have been added to this drive so far. This is my old recordings SSD, and this one, I had a drive here that was my new recordings SSD, and I put in a blank drive so that I could clone these two. So, actually, no. Yes. 65 to 93 is 27. All right, how are we doing here? 94%. It's screaming. Screaming. All right, Scott says, I assume you're related to the oil folks up in Wyoming. I see Sinclair oil stations all over the place in Colorado. Yes. I mean, I'm sure I am, but I don't know how I am. But, and you used to see Sinclair oil stations really all over the South too. And they died out. Oh, no, we just hit 100%. 100%. There we go. What's going to happen now? Holy cow. What's going to happen now? And over the years, the Sinclair station, I think there is one Sinclair station that I've seen that's still active, and they may just have the signs up being operating some other way. But I've got, I mean, a lot of members of my family have some Sinclair oil paraphernalia, you know, signs and things like that. And you'll see that sometimes in restaurants around here. They'll have a Sinclair oil sign up or a dinosaur. All right, Dave says, when I did the updates, I had the ISO on a thumb drive, but did update some really old systems like 5th generation LTs with built-in Intel GPUs. Whoa. Well, my Microsoft Surface has been prompting me to install Windows 11. And again, I think I want to back it up before I even click that button and brick it. Ah, here we go. Here's the restart. Pending restart. All right, so let's switch over to the other screen here, and we'll do a restart. We're going to restart right now. Are you ready? Here we go. Woohoo! And we're just getting a scrolly thing. Now let's see if we can go to this other screen temporarily. Updates underway, 22% complete. And we're looking at a monitor, so the screen's a little wild there. I tried to put a Gaussian blur on that and see if I couldn't take out some of that noir effect. I got a little bit of it. All right, updates are underway. 100% complete. Keep your computer on. Yeah. Restarting. Whoops. DP no signal. Oh, there we go. Asus in search of incredible. We've got the working on updates, and now the screen has changed. It looks tray different. And let's take the blur off. Here we go. Windows. Working on updates. Please keep your computer on. And this is all happening live now. Live, live, live. We'll see how long it takes. Who knows how long it's going to take. It's going to take forever. Dave said you should have scheduled it for next week. You mean this that I'm doing right now? Well, last week I scheduled it for next week, and so next week has arrived. More and more or less, that's right. The curved monitors are great, Scott, especially when you've got more than one of them, because it kind of gives the wraparound effect. Makes it easy for me to sort of see everything at one time. It makes it easier for me to see everything at one time, rather. So working on updates. We're all the way up to a 0%. Let's get that out of the way. And now we're up to 0%. Working on updates, 0%. Please keep your computer on. Your computer may restart a few times. The interesting thing about this is when it says working on updates 0, that gives us no frame of reference. Now, if it said, if it just incremented up to 1% right now, I'd say, oh boy, this is going to take forever. But if it increments up to 50% right now, I'll say, oh wow, we're halfway done. Oh, just speak of the devil, we're up to 1%. So this could take a while. This could take a while. Feel free to go get dinner or a snack and come back. It may be a little while before we get where we want to be. Oh, no, there's 2%. Woohoo. We're on a roll. Almost out of drink, though. %. Did you notice my 11 in the background? Yes, indeedy. We are 11%. All right, let's see. Oh, Dave says you were prompted to proceed or schedule the update, hence the next week comment. I get it. No, I may have to use this PC by then, before then. Oh, up to 6%. Better take another sip here. Finished it off at 10%. And the CPU fan's ramping up. I'd show you, but, it's a fan. Everybody's seen a fan. Working on updates, 10%. Updates, 10%. So I'd have to look up at it like that to appear to be really watching. But I can't see anything when I look up at the ceiling right there. Remember, who was it? I think it was Amnon, Nissan, and I, way back in the early days, and this may have been on VidBlaster. We did a show with, both of us had green screens. And so I put us side by side with the common background, up to 12%. And in the pre-show, when it was just him and me, is that right? Him and I, when it was just me. Yes, it was when it was just him and me. We had to pick, spots on the wall or in the studio or whatever that made us look like we were looking at the other one. So up to 13%. Woohoo! So that was a lot of fun, and it wasn't perfect, but it looked pretty good. Whoa! Jumped up to 25%. Give me a 25. Yeah, baby. And I thought about it later, or maybe he and I were talking about it later, that it would have been interesting to put a monitor right where you were supposed to be looking that showed, just a little confidence monitor that showed your guest or your host's picture, so that you would be keeping eye contact with that person, as it were, or with that, just the way, yeah, right, is right there the spot? Yeah, pretty much. There we go. All right, 25%. 25%. Oh my gosh. This is going to take forever. 25%. Michael Q said the new MSI laptop with the i7 12650H, 2.3 gigs, gigahertz with 32 gigabyte RAM in NVIDIA 4050, how many NDI sources could I expect to run smoothly in vMix Pro? 3 or 4, depending on what else you were doing. I'm wondering if maybe that's a typo if you didn't mean 3.2 gigahertz. But in talking with NDI folks, we're up to 26%, by the way. In talking with NDI folks, and in talking with Martin and Tim, the rule of thumb, and this was a year ago, so maybe it's different now. The rule of thumb was every NDI source required 1 core of your CPU. And I guess maybe it was more than a year ago, because at that point, when we had this discussion, the E-cores were not a thing, or were not considered as part of that, up to 27% now. And the E-cores are not, obviously not equal to a full core. And that's as opposed to threads. So, 1 core might be 2 threads, except an E-core is 1 thread, but I don't know that an E-core is equal to a full core so far as NDI is concerning. And NDI-HX actually requires, even though it's lighter on your network, from what I'm to understand, it is greater CPU use to decode the HX so that it's usable video. So keep that in mind. The RTX 4050 will not help or hurt with the NDI sources, because NDI doesn't use the graphics card. Doesn't use CUDA cores or any of the shadow tracing or ray tracing or any of that stuff. It just uses CPU, whereas an SDI connection or or HDMI connection or something like that would use GPU. Yeah. The similar, I would assume that the MSI laptop has a gigabit NIC, gig network, but could be more than that. But the Wi-Fi might be a bone of contention if you're using Wi-Fi. Whoops, we've just gone blank here. And I don't remember where we were before we went blank. Oh, we're just rebooting. Okay. Just rebooting. Zoom out a little bit. Oh, go back in. 30%. So we rebooted, but we kind of picked up where we left off. So we're now a third of the way through, at least with this portion. And we will see how it goes. Yeah, laptops are always kind of, 48%. Whew, smoking. Laptops are always kind of an interesting discussion, because you really never know what you're getting into with a laptop. Even if you read the specs, there's no guarantee that vMix is going to work the way you expect. I had I used to own an Asus Republic of gaming laptop. 60%. Yeah, baby. And it had 2 M.2 solid state drives and a Thunderbolt port. I think it was Thunderbolt 2. They're up to Thunderbolt 4 now. And that little guy was a screamer. I put a an expansion box on it via Thunderbolt with a, I think it was a 4-port HDMI card in it. And did instant replay. It was lovely. Oh, we've gone blank again. So I guess we're rebooting. Michael says it has Ethernet 1 GB and never uses Wi-Fi. And the cameras are connected via BirdDog encoders, so full NDI. Okay. Okay, 86%. We're getting there. Please keep your computer on. I mean, I guess they have to say that, but what idiot is going to turn their computer off at this point of the game? Oh, the screen went blank. Better turn it off. We'll finish it up later. I guess that could be 88%. This is getting good. This is getting good. Newest MacBooks running with Thunderbolt 5. All right. One can't keep up with new devices using these speeds. But no, I love the fact that we're still getting faster and faster and faster. That's lovely. That's what I want. If you feel like you have to leave and come back later, by all means, we're going to keep this up until it finishes, or until I get called home. I mean, to my house, not to heaven. Well, I mean, that would count too. But I don't expect to get called home to heaven today, but who really knows? Who really knows? Up 95%, 96%. And it's interesting, this is not the monitor that I expected would be the one that had the activity on it. I would have expected this monitor over here to be the one that was active. But I guess that one really is monitor number 1. Whoa, that's a sign. Getting things ready for you. This might take a few minutes. Don't turn off your PC, you idiot. Okay, so I wonder if this is going to set up the way Windows would set up. It asked me about, my keyboard and all those other things, like I was installing Windows for the first time. We'll see. Of all the things that Windows asks you when you're installing for the first time, they ought to ask you what time it is, what time zone you're in. Do you want me to sync your time or something like that? Because every PC gets installed with some crazy time in it. And it doesn't make sense to me. You're being asked so many other questions that you may not care about. Who knows? All right, Michael's got to leave. Glad he's interested. Not silly questions, great questions. Hello, Ed. Glad you're here. Michael Q is a treasure. He really is. Really is. I enjoyed getting to meet him in Amsterdam back in 2018, was it? Okay. All sorts of stuff happening here. We've got the option to install Armory Crate software service, which I think interferes with vMix, so we're not going to do that. And then I've got my desktop here with all my vMix stuff on it. And I've got a curly Q that wants to, let's see. And Dropbox is now indexing 15,000 files Oh, I bet that's the Windows stuff that has updated. But a lot of this stuff has symbols on it indicating that it's going to be updated. Huh. Well, we'll have to let that wash itself out. Let's just pop open vMix for a second and see if it opens without any problems. There we go, 28.0.0.38. Aha! Your vMix registration key needs to be activated again due to a recent system change or software upgrade. Okay, this would be considered a system change and or a software upgrade. Click Activate below to continue. Hardware's change, activate your key at all that other stuff, vMix website. So I probably shouldn't have shown you guys my key. Oh well. Let's see. We'll do this off screen, but it's already too late. I'll have to lock this key down just to make sure. Control V. Let's see. Let's go back again. Control C. Control V. Log in. Okay. Search. We'll do this off screen for just a second. Interesting, interesting. Let's see if we can get this to update. Try again. Okay, we are having interesting things going on here. Let's try this. And then this. Huh. Well, hang on a second. So we know that at least you may have an issue logging on to vMix, or activating vMix rather. vMix.com. And we'll go to vMix account and we will search for this one. And we find it. Okay. January 5th. Install date January 31st. Okay. Well, let's try one more time. Nope. We be having problems. So we'll have to get with vMix and see, or maybe reboot the PC or something like that to end up getting some sort of success on this. Bummer, bummer. Dave said that's typical to have to reactivate, but I've tried to do it 3 times, and for some reason it is not it not be cooperating, but that's okay. That's okay. Well, let's see, what else can we find out here? Let's go over here and close this. Cancel that. Cancel that. And what else? What about GT Title Designer? Will that run without a vMix license? Yes. Okay, that's interesting. What else do I have on here? Google Chrome. Yep. Oh, there we go. It's still live. Woohoo! Facebook. Yeah, I read all that stuff still there. How about vMix Social? That is not going to run without a license. Interesting. Let's go to, oh, I know. Let's go to Settings. And we'll get rid of this. Oh, there is, okay, there is vMix Social. Good. Let's go to Settings and go to Windows Update and check and see if we need any updates. And then we'll call this done. We'll call this done. This has been a nice experiment. Didn't go perfectly. All right, Jim. Jim's here. Jim says, Tom, just remove that computer from your account, then reactivate it. Had to do this many times. Yeah, I did it 3 times just now, but I think I'm going to reboot and try again. And look at this. I've got some updates that have to be made. It says check for updates. And it was just, oh, it was just security stuff. We'll check again just to see. Those got installed but didn't require a reboot. And yeah, we're good. We're good. So there we go. We've got Windows 11. Oh, crap. You know, I guess we'll just have to make sure Windows Security, no action needed. Team Viewer, UMC Control Panel, whatever that is. NVIDIA settings. Let's see if those changed. Okay, still installed. Power management mode, prefer maximum performance. Okay, that's good. That's where it should be. Oh, let's check the other one here. We'll go into settings, where there's settings. We want to look at system. We want to look at power. There we go. We want to look at energy saver is off. Energy recommendations. Put my screen to sleep after 10 minutes. No thanks. Turn my screen off after 3 minutes. Nope. Lower your refresh rate to 60 Hertz to conserve energy. No. Don't do that. Oh, well, it's not active like that. Can we do 120? Sure. Keep changes. All right. Let's go back to system, back to power. Look at some more energy stuff. Turn off my screensaver. Lock screen status. Don't know. Show the lock screen background. Sign screen, screen timeout, screen saver, help with lock screen. Well, we'll have to go through all that. We'll have to go up see all that. There's Windows Update. See if you're up to date. Golly gee. Do you want to get the latest updates as soon as they're available? I don't think so. Let's pause updates. Pause for a week. Another week. Another week. Another week. Another week. Nope, so we're good till April 16th. So we'll see. We will see. Oh my gosh. Oh my golly. So there you go. It took hour and 10 minutes ish to install Windows 11 using Windows Update on this PC. Your time may vary, maybe shorter, maybe longer. And yeah, we'll explore how to make this look more like Windows 10 so that we can find everything we need. But thanks for tuning in. And let's see, where is the post show? There we go. Post show. Dave said it took 20 minutes. System. He just like to brag on me. Like to brag on me. All right, same as his Nook. Have a great week. You too. Look at your mail. Oh, I will. Thank you. Thank you. I haven't had a chance to respond, but Gunnar updated his vMix with me. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna let the outro be the outro, and catch you guys next week, and we'll see what happens.